Hey, it's Gadget Gurus, episode 49. It's April 18th, 2011.
Yeah, you know, Jeff, today we've got a couple news stories for us. We've got Samsung's new 10.1-inch Galaxy Tab. Snacks on some honeycomb, so it's actually going to be running honeycomb. Kind of looks like a iPad to me.
Yeah.
We got maybe a new HP phone, even smaller than the Pre.
Yeah.
And we've got Jesse Jackson. This is going to be an interesting one. Ranting about why the iPad is bad for the United States. And then finally, Samsung promising dual cores. I want to talk a little bit about dual core phones as well. You know, Samsung's promising a 2.0 gigahertz phone. And you know, Jeff, also we're going to talk about this thing that's behind us. And
what's behind us?
Yeah, you're right. Nothing's behind us.
Exactly.
And the software that we're using and how we're doing it.
Yep.
So,
all that and more
on Gadget Gurus.
Stay tuned.
It's next. Hello, welcome into Gadget Gurus.
What's up?
Jeff, how you doing today?
I am,
Yeah.
Yeah,
me too. So I took...
Pardon the nose wipe.
I took the day off today from school. I have asthmatic bronchitis, which I get twice a year, almost. Just a fun tidbit here. I get it usually in April or May, and then I also get it in September, the third week of September. The last 3 years, I've been in the doctor's office the same week, like, let's just say, like, the same 7-day period, so, like, the 17th through the 27th, or the 17th through the 20, oh, I can't even add today, for a while. The 1st through the 7th, let's just say that, I've been in there for the last 3 years, either on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 7th. So I'm pretty,
Schedule-y?
Yeah.
Regular?
So, you know.
You've been taking your Metamucil?
I don't know how to come back with that one. So we're still running on the...
You should have gone... That's how you come back with that.
We're still running on the one mic setup here because, you know, Jacob, Sterling Audio. These guys, they make me pretty mad. This is Sterling Audio ST51. I paid $110 after taxes and stuff for this thing.
$110.
You know, condenser microphone studio. They advertise in some of, like, I was reading Mix magazine, which is a audio production magazine or something. Anyway, pretty professional. And they had the front page ad, like not the front page, but the right after you turn the cover, this was the front page. This was the first page that you saw was from Sterling Audio, and I kind of got mad. Yeah, that's gonna happen a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
But this thing died on us on Saturday. We talked a little bit about this, but you know, you said that. I mean, essentially the condenser just essentially went out.
Yeah, it either probably like lost the internal connections, like because it's just like little tiny wires.
Yeah.
Connecting it. Either the coil got like burned out or shorted or something.
But see,
I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is, I paid $110 for this. Paid about $40 for the shock mount and all the accessories for it.
It probably happened due to some kind of shock of some sort into something. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But I ordered you another one of the MXL 990s because we've become pretty big fans of them since I switched from...
One.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just kidding.
You know. But this thing is $60.
Oh, yeah.
The mic and the shocks.
It's a good, cheap mic that works well.
It's one of the best microphones for podcasting, like, in the range from, like, for under 100 and, like, or under almost $200. Because, you know, I think $200 is that, like, magic place where you're, like, These are the like pretty high-end broadcast microphones. Then you get into like the Rode Procaster, which I've looked into, about $230. And then you also get into the Heil PR40, which is like $340. And then you go all the way up to the the RE20s, the Electro Voice RE20s, and the RE27s, which are about $420, $430.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think it's a good idea to have two of the same microphones when we're doing something like that.
Yeah, because then you got sort of the same level going on, and
you know,
how it's good.
It's already a program. It's already a problem to match mine and your voices. Just well, not
because
exactly.
You talk so loud.
Yeah,
and, no, I'm just kidding.
No, but
I'm the child there.
And then again, you know, then you have to equate that your mic might be a little bit higher, or it might come in, whatever. Anyway, so it's going to be good to have the same microphone ordered a windscreen because you don't want to hear this if it doesn't have or not a windscreen. Yeah, I guess that's what you'd call it.
Yeah.
This thing is actually
fuzzy one that looks like a cat's attacking my face.
This one's actually $15. This is like the expensive thing here. I mean, these things are like 35 or something, and this thing was 15 by itself.
I think like the combined cable and mic stand cost more than the mic did. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it probably did actually. But anyway, pretty cool. And we also got our headphone out. We'll probably review this, a little review later on. But Jeff, I want to go ahead and get into this because we don't have too many news stories, and I have a feeling that this is going to be a really fun topic. The thing that we're using here to project these different things behind us. Now, Jeff, if we switch a shot here, are these set up? Yeah. So if we switch a shot here, it works the same. You're still zoomed in on me. I'm just the only person in the shot.
And the cool thing is, if you stick your hand to the left a little, see, we cut his shot just a little bit, but you can't tell until he sticks his hand there because.
But that's good because it makes me kind of stay in, like, some other times I like drift off to over here. So we're using a green screen here.
Yes.
And green screens have been around for a long time. You've used green screens ever since you were in like about my age or a little younger.
I was like in the 10th grade doing like a Spanish project with a green screen. It was pretty fun.
And
because it was by myself.
Chroma King has existed for a long time, and it used to be just you'd either have to have a huge television studio or you would have to have.
You could like consumer wise, you could forget about doing it live.
Mm-hmm.
You could forget about it. But now it's so easy
until like
to come
3
by.
years ago. Now the TriCaster does it, what Leo uses, and we're going to get in more into this later. But I want to kind of explain. This will be kind of a learning segment because a green screen's a green screen. Yeah. This is a 10 by. The only reason this thing was $40, and really the only reason it was so much is just green fabric. But it was we needed a pretty large space. Like we want to be able to work with some things. The cool thing is if we ever wanted to do a show where we're standing up, we could actually.
Yeah. And just an FYI, just to see what it looks like this.
Yep.
Whoa.
That's weird.
What's going on? Huh? What's going on there? I don't even know what's going on there.
Anyway, it's green.
Oh, wait, there it is.
Yeah.
Just kidding. That was something. Why am I behind you? That's weird. Okay, so yeah. So this is basically what it looks like. Without the effects enabled.
And, that's one of the reasons, like, this is why we actually have to keep mine out. For some, I think the camera is, like, a little bit...
Yeah, the camera, I think, is off-centered slightly. So, whatever. But we actually probably could move it over some. But we're also going to have a new camera in here pretty soon, so...
Yeah, one of the reasons that we actually got... that we ordered this green screen is because it gives us a lot to work with. We've got it almost up to the ceiling, which means if we wanted to, like right now with this shot, we can't stand up and do things, but if we just all we have to do is move the camera up, and we've got plenty of room if we wanted to stand up instead of sit down or whatever.
But you can also do a thing like this.
Which is really awesome, and we're going to...
Which is, we're down here in the corner, but see, I can't go too far out.
Right.
Because it's cutting certain things out.
But I really like this because it's a seamless... What we would know if we were going to do this before, we'd have to double box it. We'd have to overlay graphics,
and you would have a static background back here. You wouldn't be able to see anything. Plus, our new lower thirds,
Yeah.
Are transparent enough to where you can see the whole website now.
Right. And Carlo asked the question. Wait, am I not on this?
No.
Right. What are we? Well, actually, we'll get into this once again on the software, but let's talk really quick how a green screen works. I know where I'm going now, but if I do that, I'm trying to keep from coughing. Sorry. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit how a green screen works. So essentially, there's two different types. I mean, you could really key out any color you wanted.
It just needs to be a color that is unique.
Right. So
it could be blue. They got blue screens. They went with green screen just because the camera likes green better than blue sometimes. Right. And,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But a blue screen, a lot of higher-end professionals use those. I don't really know why, but I've seen...
Oh, well, most movie stuff is all green.
Really? You'll see different variants, but...
Sometimes they actually combine the two to act as a key, like to be able to act as registers because the high contrast between the two, but they can still take them both out at the same time. So that works out good. And also with green screens, you can actually get gaffing tape, which is just duct tape that doesn't stick to, leave residue. And you paint it either 2 shades darker or lighter than your green screen. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it lets you track points like in After Effects.
That's really cool.
And then it all goes away when you key it out.
That's kind of like budget motion tracking instead of like the balls and everything that they stick on.
A lot of people use that in professional world. Yeah,
that's cool.
And they just get a big long roll of gaffing tape and paint it, and it works out really well because
they probably even sell it in colors like that. If you really went on like some pro video site or something.
And you can, but a lot of times it's substantially cheaper to paint a whole roll of gaffing tape green than it is to buy a green roll of gaffing tape.
True.
Because readily available. You have black gaffing tape. You don't have to buy 2 different rolls.
Yeah. Now, of course, you cannot wear anything the color green. It's going to key out. So if Jacob had just so happened to have a green shirt on Saturday when we were messing around with this.
Yeah, and I disappeared.
You would just see this overlaid on whatever's green. Which, I think green is an okay color because you can easily avoid green, that's one of the reasons why they picked the green screen is because not too many people wear green, Anyway, so you're never gonna see us wearing green unless we're doing things
purposely making us disappear.
Right. Now, one of the interesting things I've seen other people do is you can actually you can do a lot more to the video. Like you can actually tell our video looks a lot better. We tweaked the camera really. That's really the main thing.
Just like if I go back to this shot here, it looks a little bit different. We actually got some.
These are really cool lights.
Some LED lights going on that are with our proprietary diffusing paper.
Yeah, just contact us if you would like to buy the rights to that. It's going to cost you a pretty penny, but it works pretty well.
And they're very spot. Man, you stare at that thing and you can't see. They're very spotty, and we just stuck one single sheet of paper over it.
They were really spotty.
Diffused it enough to where you got to sort of it would be substantially better if the green screen was farther back or if we were closer.
True,
but
this is about the minimal distance where you can get a good key. Like we're working with, we could go farther, but
the problem is when you come back.
Yeah, you made shadows. And it's really not doing it that bad right now.
Yeah, like when your dad was here, he was getting all up in it.
If you get into the light, it's not even doing it really that much today. That's kind of weird. I guess we've just got it. Anyway, shadows are not your friend when you're working with green screens ever. You don't want shadows. That's why, especially with the green screen that we're using, which is just a standard green blanket, bed sheet, whatever, essentially. That's why we actually had to go out and make a trip to buy these 2 lights because we had to get some high-powered lights that were...
Yeah, you had to make the green screen brighter than or bright enough to where it can be easily keyed out and not blend in with everything that's dark.
And our front lighting works good for what we were doing before, and that's what's making us look... Because, these aren't really hitting us. I mean, if Jacob moves over a little bit, you can kind of see it reflect off his shirt.
You can see it hitting there. It's really bright, actually.
Right, yeah. But I've seen people... You can accomplish green screening to a certain extent, especially with our software solution Wirecast with front lighting, but you're getting to the point where you're going to be blinding yourself and you don't even want to do it. And the cool thing is they're not even on the ground. These are just the same kind of standard. What I'll do is I might take a picture of this, kind of make it high quality so we can put it in the show notes. But you can get these things at Lowe's. The light bulbs were pretty pricey because they are LEDs. But you could go with other different, other different solutions. But I mean, what would you call? I kept calling them canisters. I don't think that's actually what you call them. The metal things. What would you call them?
They're just your standard little reflective light, little construction light that just a clamp light.
Yeah.
And it's just like a really cheap tin.
Really cheap.
You can look at it and bend it with your mind.
Yeah. But it works.
All it has is just a light socket in there, and you just screw in the light bulb, and we got compact fluorescents, so they don't put out as much heat.
Yeah,
These are actually LEDs here.
Yeah. And LEDs are normally really good about not putting out heat, but when you get into, was this 700 or 900 lumens? It's really
this
high.
is approaching 900 lumens.
Yeah. So
and they start to get pretty warm, but they got a nice heat sink heat sink on them. The LED itself is only about that big with a lens, and then the heat sink is about the size of a regular floodlight.
I don't know what it's actually made out of, but it kind of reminds me of like ceramic or something almost. It feels like ceramic.
I think it's just powder coated metal or something.
Oh, okay.
But
it's got an interesting coat on.
But yeah, it pulls the heat away from the light. So we've had these on since
20, about 30, 45 minutes, and
it's warm. Now the heat sink itself is really warm,
right?
But the paper doesn't touch that, and you probably need to be very
the diffuser.
Oh, sorry, the diffusers.
Yeah.
Paper doesn't touch that. But you should be very careful without, you don't want to leave these on when you walk away and stuff.
Yeah,
because you are putting paper to light bulbs. And you don't want to use incandescent bulbs because they get very hot.
Yeah.
Especially when you're pushing the 125 watt range.
Right. These are just standard light bulbs, but these are like really
yeah, these are compact fluorescents, so.
Yeah. But, I would say these still probably get hotter than these over time. Yeah. They're still hotter, and the heat sink.
The heat that it puts off.
Yeah. But
if you went and touched the heat sinks on these right now, you'd probably burn yourself.
If you're watching in the pre-show, which I'm still really wanting to start recording the pre-shows, and I can always grab them on Justin.tv if they're that interesting.
Yeah, the swirly one smoothie.
Yeah. The energy savers that they like to talk about and stuff. But what was I going to say? Can you remember what I was going to say? Anyway.
Yeah.
And LEDs are really the best thing that we found. Once you're not getting up into the really expensive things, but these are like another DIY project that was pretty fun and easy to do. It took a little bit. You did have to.
Yeah, the clamps that they sell at Lowe's, which is just a hardware store that we got around here. The clamps that they sell are horrible. Because the clamp itself holds on pretty good, but the joint is you can get a wrench and break the thing off, and it would still not hold because it's just a horrible design. They needed a ball, not a cylinder, to hold the thing.
And you're talking like a $10 investment. So, you can't expect
pay a little bit more money and you might get something. But they didn't have anything better, so.
Yeah, that was really the only option.
We had to do some jerry-riggage with some zip ties and utilizing the heat vent holes for the light canister. It works. But
I remember what I was going to say. So if you're watching the pre-show, you probably noticed Jay wanted me we actually turned a fan on. You may hear that, but we're just going to blame it on the mic anyway. We're not getting hardly, there is heat being thrown off, but I would say, I'm really happy that we're not having to deal with big light, containers, big light boxes, hair lights and everything, because those things push off major heat.
Yeah, and we're doing a do-it-yourself studio lighting. Yeah, nobody really uses this kind of lighting really to light a studio.
But the good thing is, it looks just about the same as what you're going to get. It could be better, but
also the camera quality. Once you get better camera quality, it will definitely improve.
That's going to be really fun Gadget Cruise, I can already tell. Maybe in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about our software solution here. The neat thing with Wirecast, made by Telestream, about $500, $4.99, and then if you want to use something that we're going to get into, using a capture card, you have to pay $100 more. Which, okay, you're getting $600, but I'm telling you guys that if you want to do what we do, you got to make that. It's an investment.
Yeah, you're going to be like, wow, 10 megabytes for $100 $600 for a 10 megabyte program. You're going to feel kind of gypped a little, but
yeah. Now, Smithy, I really wish that they would actually. We've never used a capture card, so I can't tell you. It does come with different driver sets, and it actually enables new things. And they now have $1,000 like everything solution. You can do live scoreboards, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they added a bunch of extra dynamic.
But it's stuff you don't need, and this is better than VidBlaster, which starts at $1,000 for like the medium thing. It goes all the way up to $1,500. Blackmagic just came out with something that's pretty interesting that does not do it's a hardware and software combo. So you actually have to use a laptop or a desktop to stream with, but it has SDIs in, which is pretty cool because it's in a BNC straight. That's the HD BNC, right?
Yeah,
connector.
the SDI.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's still you can't do like the lower thirds. Like you'd have to create all your own, and we did create these. But the cool thing is, Wirecast. There's no proprietary formats. You can just stick a PNG in here. Now there's other like we're using a .mov because Wirecast, just to let you know, is based on QuickTime. It was originally designed for the Mac, so Windows users kind of get pushed out sometimes, but usually if you contact their support, they can really help you. They've got some workarounds for Windows, and honestly, I'm still with the Windows camp because, for one thing, you know, Macs are inherently more expensive, and plus, the only way that you could do what we're about to do is with a, well, I say that. Blackmagic has now has a USB 3.0 capture device, but it's $500. So by the time you get there,
most of the little standalone capture cards that are integrated into your computer that you know
they're much
internal,
more
like for Windows are a lot cheaper.
Yeah, and the Blackmagic work with the Mac Pro, but only a Mac Pro. So you're gonna have to spend, what is a Mac Pro, $2,000 right now?
Something
just
like
for the entry,
yeah.
And you're gonna want to do some upgrades on that. But the Blackmagics are about $180. They have direct support. They've had it since version 3.5, which we're on now version 4.0 point something. Yeah, but it's version 4.0 at least. They've done a whole new UI change, and Wirecast is really cool. We'll probably do multiple videos on Wirecast because that's really what makes our thing go. But honestly, people ask, and the capture card we're looking at, we're probably gonna buy is $100. And I've looked around, and I think I'm pretty. I've looked around and I've asked the Wirecast people. They say that it should work directly with Wirecast, and if it doesn't, it can be as easy as installing some actually. They were actually trying to tell me it didn't have to have any drivers whatsoever. And I'm like, well, you're probably going to want to install the drivers anyway.
And it's got 2 HDMI inputs.
Yeah, so. It's AV Tech or I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
Show notes. But we're running on relatively low grade hardware, especially now. We're not running on i7. We're running on a Athlon box, and it does have 4 gigs of RAM. It's running Windows 7 64-bit, and we're peaking out the CPU almost right now, but you got to realize we're playing. Just think about this. So we're streaming live, pushing
it to Justin.
Not high quality, but it's Aver Media. That's it. We're pushing it to Justin TV, so first of all, you're streaming right there. I mean, you just think about it.
We're recording locally.
Yeah, recording locally at the same quality, even a better quality, because by the time you go through a server and things, it downgrades. And then also we've got motion lower thirds, which you put, they're MOVs, right?
This and this are both MOVs.
Right.
This has an alpha channel, which is what you're seeing here. That's
which
how you
allows
can see
you
us.
to see us, yeah.
And then this is an MOV,
and this is
just moving.
This is high quality enough to fill this whole space without any,
Yeah, and we found a free website that has that on there that we're going to show
on Tech Weekly.
On Tech Weekly. So
and
tune into that.
You don't have to use motion. Some shows, we're looking into doing a sports show on Tuesday nights or whatever we decide to do. Sometimes we may use stills, but I like motion really. I mean, it's kind of distracting, but it still looks pretty cool.
Well, if it's slow enough,
this is pretty slow. It's not that distracting, but it's pretty cool. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. And like Jacob said, one of the main things. I mean, just think about this. We're doing it with a long gone supported Logitech webcam, which is still like a pretty good webcam. But
but as you can see, when we come in, it's kind of blurry
and you may see some green. A little, you can't really see it that much.
That's pretty much with the blurriness.
Yeah, that's camera quality, really. Honestly.
But that's also what they call
ghost.
Hold on, what is it called? Back or spillage or whatever it's called. Basically, where the green part of the
kind of
thing comes off,
a little bit.
But it doesn't get keyed out because
it's not.
You can do a lot better post production green screen.
Yes, and that was something that we kind of hinted at it. You can still do post production, and that's what they do in movies. They don't live green screen, as I know of, but that's what you grew up doing. Post production green screen, because that was the only way. And plus, you're not going to be you weren't live streaming or anything.
Yeah,
But,
let me live stream my Spanish video.
yeah, I'm really excited about the capabilities of what we're going to have. Once you get a decent camera in here, I think it's just going to look insane. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. This is from ePhoto. I actually ordered it on Amazon. Amazon actually fulfills it, so I got it out of the Memphis, Tennessee distribution center. 2-day shipping, free 2-day shipping.
But it literally is just a really big green bed sheet. It even has the front hem and the bottom hem on the standard bed sheet. But yeah, I mean that's basically
the only reason I ordered from somewhere like this is you could go out and get a green bed sheet, but you can't guarantee that. I mean, they're not going to have a 10 by 12.
Yeah, this is like a king size
or
bed sheet.
Yeah, I mean this thing goes all the way. What would you say? That's at least probably 8 or 7, 9. Yeah, I mean it goes all the way down to the ground, and we got some stuff laying on the ground. But anyway, pretty cool. So let's go into our gadget news here for a second. Like we said here in the intro.
That's not it. That's Carlo.
Hey, Carlo. So our first story on the news docket of this week for gadget viewers is Samsung Super Slender Galaxy Tab 10.1 snacks some on honeycomb. So they've actually, we talked about this. They were actually saying that they were going to kind of stray away from not using honeycomb on their tab. This thing is awesome. I might play this video here. It's actually 4 minutes long, but we don't watch it all. I mean, this thing really reminds me of the iPad, and honestly, that's what I want in a tablet. I mean, you know, not exactly like the iPad.
Nom 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 nom.
Đây là Galaxy Tab.
So there's honeycomb right there.
Phiên bản mới. Đây là cái giao diện. Honeycomb. Chúng ta có giao diện mặt đích của
See now, Jeff, that's what we're talking about. No hardware buttons at all except for the volume up and down.
Yeah.
Those buttons down there in the bottom left-hand corner are actually software buttons.
Yeah, part of the UI.
Yeah.
kết nối 30 chân.
So I mean, look how thin that is. Now, I'm still not liking that Samsung's using their proprietary, like, looks kind of like a 32-pin connector, but it's not. Or is it 32 or 30? Anyway, the Apple connector.
Đây có lỗ jack 3.5.
Stylus.
Cái này là khe thẻ nhớ
Yeah, it's
micro
got
USB.
a back-facing camera
Âm lượng ở đây.
right there.
Và cái nút
Probably a
mở máy ở đây.
front-facing as well.
Ở
32,
bên cạnh trái chúng ta có
32.
một loa. Và khi cái máy ở cái thế đứng thế này thì chúng ta có hai bên, một bên loa bên này, một bên loa bên này, stereo.
Stereo
Và cái
speakers.
dàn nút thì chúng ta nằm ở bên trên này hết. Bạn cầm dọc thì nó là bên này, bên tay phải.
But this looks like something that you've actually said this, that we're probably going to want to look out for Samsung's development. We've talked about, you know, how we really don't like Motorola, and I kind of feel sorry that we've bashed Motorola so much, but it's just the case, you know. I mean, if I'm going to invest my money in a tablet, I'm going to be able to do whatever I want on it. You know?
And it's the whole sense of Android is supposed to be open, not where we're going to make this proprietary, bin file that we remake ourselves that makes it very difficult to. You basically have to with HTC you are flashing the ROM, but with Motorola you're really you're flashing memory, like raw data input, not some UI thing.
Right.
So it's not like installing a software program. It's like flashing your BIOS with a Motorola phone. So
this thing is a third of an inch thick, 0.33 inches thick. It really rivals the iPad 2, and there's still no ship.
And definitely the Zoom.
Yeah, definitely the Zoom. This thing, I mean, this just UI aspect. I mean, I don't know. It's probably still plastic, but it just looks more.
They might have put a glass screen on there.
It could be.
Or some kind of epoxy based.
But that's one of the things that makes the iPad so cool is it's got that aluminum backing. I'm kind of a fan of that. It doesn't have to be an aluminum backing for the Android tablet I get, but I think I'd rather it be something
that could withstand something. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean that thing is literally just like what's your net. I mean, your netbook is pretty hefty, but it's just got plastic all over it.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of plastic.
Yeah. So I mean the Zoom. I'm not gonna lie, the Zoom is a cool offering for the first tablet. I mean, honestly, I was thinking for the first 10-inch tablet, we were probably gonna get some really crappy thing for Android. It was a good start, but I don't think it's not there yet.
And they have a lot of Asian stuff
Yeah, there's a lot of Asian stuff coming out.
But it's like, it's very, I don't want to say janky, but it's like, what can we get away with?
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
I know what you're talking about.
Like, you're like, like, remember seeing the iPad knockoff cover?
Yeah, the E? What's
the cover?
Oh,
remember the guy that was falling apart?
Yeah, the smart cover.
That's what I kind of look at with, like Asian knockoff.
Now, here in the States, you don't really have... You got, like, Samsung and HTC and Motorola and things getting into the tablet game. But, like, you'll have some random off-the-wall people coming in the Asian market because you can get your hands on Android. It's open source.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even have to pay licensing fees, I don't think.
And, like, at CES, there was tons of international, I guess you could say, Android devices. And they had, like, a Android TV.
That's cool.
And it was, like, straight up Android.
On your TV.
On your TV. It just was an Android. It'd be like my phone having, it'd be a little bit more faster than my phone, but my phone without the screen, just having a VGA or HDMI output that plugged right into your TV, and it had a like mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
And that was it. So.
Yeah, this is one of those things I think we're gonna have to. You know, Jeff, you've been eyeing a tablet that's an interesting price point, and I can see like myself included when it gets to that point, and I'm like, dude, Honeycomb's there, tablet manufacturers are on board.
I want something that could halfway handle something, you know? Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not asking for, like, a full-blown, like, supercomputer, but I'm just like, you know, I don't want like, a bigger phone.
Yeah.
I don't want if my phone was scaled up this big, it would be like, it can't handle it.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine for that, but that's a lot of, when you get, like, high-definition resolutions and stuff, it's a lot to ask for a phone to push that out. So, you know, I don't really care for the, like, you know, just scaled up small device, but, you know, but we got this thing, which is a scaled down, smaller device.
Now, you know, Jay, a couple years ago, we saw, like, the smallest device ever actually put out. It was one of the first HTC phones that ever came out in the U.S. It was the
It was the Pebble or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It was like the Pebble or something, but it was literally, I mean, it was this big. It was no, that was a Pantech. Sorry, it was a Pantech. It was a flip phone. It was back in the day, you know, when the Razr had just come out.
AT&T, and they popped it open, and it's like, where'd it go?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought you were talking about smartphones.
No,
I was like,
no. This was 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Stuff going on.
But anyway, HP, kind of some leaked photos, but they have confirmed that there's a May 2nd launch party, and this is actually going to be coming right now just AT&T, and they're calling it the HP Veer, because, you know, HP acquired... Oh, my gosh, my bad.
What are you doing? You can't press it.
Okay, sorry.
And then I smashed my hands across the place.
Yeah, I know. So HP acquired...
Let's go ahead and just throw this out there. That's a vaporware picture.
Yeah, it is.
That doesn't actually exist in that picture. It might exist now.
Yeah.
But they were like, let's Photoshop this phone really small in someone's hand.
So let me ask you something, Jared. May 12th, May 2nd, sorry. I'll probably tune in just to see what it looks like. We'll probably at least cover it on Tech
something
Weekly.
that small. I mean, picture holding that to your head. Okay, you got it on your ear. The earpiece is way over here. That means it has to have a really high gain mic. And
yeah, sorry.
You know, it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, and
who wants a screen that small?
Dude, 4.3. I'm really enjoying my 4.3 inch screen.
I like a bigger screen.
Yeah,
I don't want a small screen. You're like, oh crap! I mean, how are you gonna even type on that?
Yeah,
because I don't think it has a slide up keyboard.
Like you said, it's vaporware, so we really don't know. And we don't.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, actually, it's gonna be 2 times as big. That was just someone with giant hands.
Yeah, but they are marketing this small, so you know, whatever.
I don't know, but yeah.
Interesting offering, and you know, we got to motor through because we got Chad Hallberg coming on. What? PB at night. I want to give him some time. We'll probably end this show a little bit early.
Yeah.
But this is a really interesting story.
With a weird mouth. No, I'm just kidding.
This is Jesse Jackson, and he's a. It does remind you a bit of that Ken 2 that look like a pebble. This guy's a U.S. congressman, actually. He's not in the same district as Obama was, but he's in Illinois. 2 weeks ago, or about a month ago, he came out on the floor on the one of the congressional meetings that they had, and he stated that wouldn't it be a great idea to fund the government, because the government wastes so much paper? I mean, it's just obvious, to have iPads. Right? I mean, that's we don't really want to waste all of our tax dollars.
Let's let everybody get some iPads, because that just seems the most logical explanation.
Yes, but in 5 years, would you not say right now, I don't want anybody to hand me a piece of paper and be like, here, I still accept it because we're still not there yet, but once everybody has a smartphone or some kind of device in their hands...
I don't think it's going to be an iPad. I don't think it's going to be a full-fledged device. It's going to be e-paper or the transparent OLED, display or something. It's not going to be a full-fledged device. It's going to be something that has enough power to access the web or something, or get something pushed to it that displays like a PDF or a static image. It's not going to be like going around updating your Facebook and...
Yeah, and especially for the government. They're going to put some,
At first, it's just going to be static, e-ink, transparency film-esque thing. I've seen newspapers, switching over to it, because that's the only way they're going to rejuvenate themselves. You got to go to the new technology, guys. Come on. CEO of newspaper, you're watching the show. Come on.
Yeah, but now this week, this is the really controversial thing, is now he's bashing the iPad and saying that
I'm going to get one. It's horrible.
The iPad, he's saying that because the iPad, even though iPad, Steve Jobs, U.S. public company, he's still saying that, they're being all outsourcing and crap. That's essentially what he's saying, and that's probably how he said it. Not really, but...
Man, you guys being all outsourcing and crap.
He's saying that because it's made in China, that we should not support it. But honestly...
Everything's made in China.
You cannot buy a technology product that's made in the U.S., and if you do, you're not going to be able to afford it.
Okay, you know what? Literally, there's almost nothing except maybe like a block of steel that is not made and has something that's not made in China, or does not use a process of something that was made in China. Okay? You got these made in the USA places that are bringing out their whatever, a truck or something. Yeah. The truck was made with machinery that was made in China. So indirectly, you can never get away from it. It's you're just whatever,
Yeah, and he's citing the First Amendment, saying that this is being outsourced by China and it's so popular and we shouldn't support it. Now, granted, I understand that
I don't have an iPad, so nobody can.
There are U.S. jobs being lost because we're outsourcing things to China. I understand where he's coming from in that situation.
The iPad would cost $12,000 if we made it in the U.S. Because nobody would work for a penny a day.
Yeah. Now, I was watching Twit yesterday, and Leo suggested that he needs to worry more about Cisco, because Cisco is essentially booting the whole Flip crew out, 535 members of the Flip crew.
What they really should do is just throw it up for bid for someone else to take it over and just let someone buy it. They make a little money. And then they get rid of it.
Yeah.
Instead of just putting it in a shelf and just forgetting about it.
But don't you agree? I mean, I understand that he's trying to... this is probably the wrong place. I think he probably needs to attack government workers who are standing on the side of the road before he needs to attack Steve Jobs and Apple and China manufacturers. But it's an interesting point, and I kind of wish that more if the price of manufacturing was even a little bit more than Chinese manufacturing in the U.S., which would probably never happen... It would be nice. It's good to support things here in the U.S., but like you said...
Nobody's going to work for that.
A $10 shirt at the Pilot.
In order to work for that price, you would have to bring Chinese people or someone that would be willing to work for that price into the U.S. Yeah. You're like, it was made in the U.S.
Which essentially breaks total...
Chinese sweatshops.
Which essentially breaks total, that you'd be breaking so many, constitutional rights and everything. It's not even funny. When you do that. But anyway...
Yeah, we have a thing here called minimum wage.
Yes.
And if everything was made at minimum wage, it would still cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah. It's an interesting topic. I'll put that in the show notes. Just look on this post, pbcasttv.com.
Yeah.
Definitely watch the video, because he's yelling and all kinds of stuff. And it's
hilarious.
Fun. So our final story of the day comes from Gadget as well, which we get a lot of our stories from. So if you kind of want to see some of our stories we might be getting, Gadget.com. So Samsung is promising a dual-core, get this, 2 gigahertz smartphone by the end of the year. By the next year.
And apparently it's going to be completely tinted red.
Yeah, I really don't know what that is.
I think that's just saying Verizon.
Maybe
is what I'm thinking they're suggesting with that. Just saying. Nothing else is red. Except Verizon.
So they're saying that this could be an ARM A9 processor, which would be the next generation of what Apple is running, similar to what they're running. They're not actually running the direct ARM processor; it's an in-house built processor. But 2 gigahertz. I'm still saying, give me all the power I can get on my phone. But you're still going to have some innovation in batteries before you can even go up to this.
Yes. And like I've said before, I don't know where it went in the news. Scientists, you need to go ahead and bring that junk out into the mainstream. Whoa, hey, what's going on over here? You need to bring that out into the mainstream. But foam lithium batteries, that's where the next generation's at. Nobody wants to push it out to the markets. I'm like, go ahead with that technology. I mean, same. I mean, yeah.
We've talked about this before, and I feel like we're beating like a dead horse.
Sloppy fish.
Yeah, something. But I know, Smoothie, but the problem is we can't innovate unless we get ULV chips that use the same or less power that the lower clock speeds are using, which right now we haven't seen it because, you get a 2...
Now, I have seen this stock ROM, okay?
Yes.
That you get with the...
right here. Good one. I've got Cyanogen right now, and I've seen a lot better battery life on this Inspire 4G.
One, because you don't have all the stuff running in the background.
A lot of the bloatware.
But two, the developers, the open source developers that do these, they actually go in there and they actually lowered the voltages for devices to a halfway working range. So, hey, it still works. It runs a little bit less electricity, which at the end of the day, it's just whatever.
And I'm a proponent of, just like you are, of I think a lot of these problems can be fixed with different ROMs, and if you get the right people working on it, you can get battery life pretty daggum good, even on an Evo with a regular battery.
And there are some things like HTC Sense uses a lot of battery life.
It's cool, but it uses a lot of battery life.
It's really cool because it keeps you connected to almost everything. But they have their own little built-in things that, you can go in there and delete them out. Yeah. But, I don't know what I just said, but that's what I'm saying.
Anyway, that's our rant for the day.
Yep.
Like I said, Chad Hallberg coming up next. 7 o'clock, we'll probably start.
PB night.
Yep. Chad's going to join us. He's at chadhallberg.com. So if you guys are watching live, stick around for that.
If you're not, go to the next video.
Actually, yeah, it'll be out before this. We actually pushed it out tonight, so really no reason.
I don't know why that was.
Unless you just watch Gadget Groups. But anyway, you can follow Jacob on Twitter, twitter.com/freakinghuge, FREAKINHUGE. YouTube.com/freakinghuge. You can watch the vlogs and everything that's posted there. Maybe some new, 3D project or something coming up later. You can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/thatnickjones, youtube.com/thatnickjones, anywhere on the web. And Jeb, I haven't plugged this lately, but when we bought those .me domains, I just threw WordPress up on mine, got a pretty decent looking theme, and I've only made 3 posts, but I made a post today because I was at home sick, and follow me there, nickjones.me, pretty cool. pbcasttv.com, twitter.com/pbcasttv, and youtube.com/pbcasttv.
And Elemental UAPPPB.
Yeah. Guys, tomorrow, brainstorming.
We're going to do a... Lady Bryn is very psyched about this review for the mixer.
By Wednesday.
Yes. We're going to do a very detailed, or Nick's going to do a very detailed video.
I'm going to say like a handheld walkthrough, holding your hand walkthrough of what all the different buttons do and
that
things.
That way we can get more detailed with it, because in the live form,
and that would be nice.
You can't get as detailed because you're not moving the cameras around.
And it's being used and things. But anyway, we may roll that
beautiful bean footage.
We may do that in, I don't know, it depends on how long it is. I'm guessing it's going to be a pretty longer format video. But anyway, that will be out on Wednesday. Another great reason to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because content like that goes up that may fly under, you know.
Nick, I can't believe we did this.
What did we do? What did we do?
Yeah, Monday.
Today is living up to type. I could not go to school.
Oh my gosh.
Jacob,
I like got bit by a spider. My throat's all scratchy and my nose is running money. And
plus,
I blow
it's
it all
allergy
on
season,
you.
which is not good. Anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us here on pbcasttv.
Oh, you almost get it. Gadget Gurus.
Gadget Gurus, episode 49. So, until next time, guys, I'm Nick Jones.
I'm Jacob Roberts.
And we are the Gadget Gurus.
The Gadget Gurus. Bye.